If you break the law here, or if they think that maybe you did, you're going to get charged and you're going to have to answer for it. You don't know Russia.
Is it actually safe or unsafe in Russia? What's up, everybody? This is Igor in Russia, and I'm with my friend expat American here in Moscow. In this video, you're gonna hear it straight from a real American living in Russia. Is it actually safe or unsafe in Russia, Moscow and elsewhere? Welcome to the channel.
Thanks, guys. I'm the guest and the umbrella holder for the great Igor in Russia.
Russia, is it safe or not?
There is no street crime here that I've ever seen. And I've seen it in other countries. This is a Western country, basically. It has everything. So I'm actually treated better here as a foreigner than I am as an American in America. Молодец! If you break the law here, or if they think that maybe you did, you're going to get charged and you're going to have to answer for it. I'm from America. I would not believe what I myself am saying now today. In a good way, a Wild West type of culture here. Someone else is going to punch them in the face and you're not going to think anything of it. Tragedy that might happen to protect my family, well, you don't have to wait till the conflict's over. I mean, the conflict has nothing to do with you being a tourist. If you haven't been to Russia, if you've only heard the news and you're just repeating the lines you think you're supposed to say, you don't know Russia.
So starting off from just the basics, general question that you very often see in the comments and in the forums: Russia is unsafe. That's what they say according to some ministries, many ministries, Western ministries. Don't travel here, it's unsafe. What is your answer to this claim or a comment as an American living in Russia, in Moscow? Is it safe, or should people be afraid of traveling here?
I think that's an absolutely ridiculous thing to say. I don't know in what way Russia is not safe. And anyone who says that is either trying to deceive you, or they've just been listening to Western media and they've never been here. And when I get comments from people on my channel saying, oh my gosh, it's dangerous, you shouldn't be there, I ask them, have you been here? Where are you from? Because I'm sure they've either never been here or they're actually trying to deceive people. I mean, what do you think of when you think of safety? You think of street crime, you think of police, you think of, I guess, safety rails and seatbelts, things like that. So there is no street crime here that I've ever seen. And I've seen it in other countries, And as far as the police, they're everywhere here. And they never, ever have anything to do with me. They're busy being helpful if I need it. And then as far as, like I said, guardrails and seatbelts, this is a Western country, basically. It has everything. I mean, not even basically, in everything that the West has, they have here in terms of safety.
One thing that they easily say in the different comments, that they're gonna take you, drag you, and use you as a bargaining chip. You as a foreigner, because usually they're not talking about Russia in general. Sure, that is also dangerous according to some, but you for us foreigners in Russia, specifically for foreigners, is it safe from like a political standing point?
Yeah, I don't believe that. I've been here since 8 days after the military operation began, and I have not seen that at all. Anyone that has been taken has, issues that are arguable for sure, And Russia has a culture where they treat their guests well. So I'm actually treated better here as a foreigner than I am as an American in America. So this is a square of 3 different train stations going off to 3 different locations in Russia. And so if there was ever a place in a country that might be a bit sketchy, it would be a place like this. We have all different types of foreigners coming and going. And look around. I don't see any graffiti. I see almost no trash. And Привет!
Здесь Москва.
Молодец!
Салам алейкум. Это Москва. Это Москва.
Да-да-да.
Хотите посмотреть на меня, посмотрите на меня. Катит на каратиста паспорт смотри, вот я каратист. Я вообще каратист конкретно. Всем салам алейкум, я вам.
Круто. Спасибо. So right there, guys, that was a person that is what, a bit sketchy, someone where you might be like, uh-oh, you know, he was a little bit drunk. I'm not sure about Russian that much, so I'm not sure what he said, but it didn't seem like it was making a whole lot of sense. He was missing some teeth, but he was still friendly, and he shook my hand.
He said that this is Moscow, and proudly. And then he said also, that this is I'm a karate man. I'm the best karate man. And I think he said he was the best. And he wanted to take his shirt off and show maybe some kind of a, you know, he's got a cool tattoo or something. I said, no, not necessary. And then he said, salam alaikum. But we have to go and pay him for this performance now. I'm kidding. Just a random guy who loves his city. What would you say, what would happen actually to a foreigner with a foreign passport in Russia if you do you know, something you know, minor crime, let's say, not going to specify?
Well, you're going to get charged. I mean, if you break the law here, or if they think that maybe you did, you know, you're going to get charged and you're going to have to answer for it, just like you would have to in a Western country, whether you're a foreigner or not. So Russia is definitely for the rule of law. They're for law and order here, and they don't really care who you are or where you're from. I mean, just like the West, you might have to go to jail, you might get just a fine and released, you might have to do some community service hours. It's no different. And, you know, I'm from America. Before I came here, I would not believe what I myself am saying now today. I mean, I lived in Florida, New York, California, and just growing up, almost all my life, it was just taken for granted. If you are in a big city, let's say, there's going to be crime and danger. But here in Moscow, you don't have that. I mean, you know, I'm a family guy. I'm not in the center all the time. But in my travels, I see about one person a month that looks like a homeless person. You know, I see graffiti maybe twice a month in a certain spot. I almost never see trash on the ground. And, you know, if you haven't been to Russia, if you've only heard the news and you're just repeating the lines you think you're supposed to say, you don't know Russia. I'm telling you, you gotta see it for yourself before you talk about it.
So Joe, how would you compare then, you know, how it's safe or unsafe in foreign countries, the Western countries you've been to, and comparing it with Moscow then?
Well, if I ever go back to the West, I'll definitely have to remind myself where I am. Because growing up in the West, you know, you learn you have to have eyes in the back of your head. You have to always be ready for potential trouble from street crime. And living here, you can almost get kind of fat and lazy. Life is so good. You never have to be concerned about street crime. Of course, you still are if you're from the West. And if you see a pack of young men, you think to yourself, uh-oh, am I going to be okay? And here, it's never a problem. So I'm definitely spoiled living here for sure, if I were to compare the two countries.
There's also a thing where I think a lot of Russians don't necessarily wait for the police if something happens. Instead, intervene themselves. It's basically a man's duty to help, let's say, another guy, but especially a lady. If there's something going on.
I have noticed that. It is more, in a good way, a Wild West type of culture here. They're not waiting for the police necessarily. Something happens, it's like, what? You know, who are you? If someone's like acting up or crazy,
Yeah,
you
like
know?
even the normal thing, like in a bus, you know, somebody's like making noise. It's not uncommon that somebody will step up and say, "Shut the hell up," or maybe physically put you in place. But sometimes people don't understand any better.
Yeah, just think about if it was 100 years ago and some guy was being a jerk and offending people, you know, and someone else is going to punch him in the face, and you're not going to think anything of it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's more of that older style culture here in a good way. You know, because police are reactionary. You know, there's not enough police. Well, maybe there is in Moscow, but there's not enough police in the world to stop every crime before it happens. Basically, they come to a crime once it's happened and they sort it out. You know, so I think Russia's good in this way, in that they're taking care of things as they happen, as a community.
In Russia, you can read usually just the negative news about Russia in the West. Some building fell down, or there was a big fire. And of course, that's because they are very very selective what they print in the West, and usually negative. But it creates a feeling that it's unsafe in a public way, public transport, a train fell.
Right.
What about those, or mass events? What about you as a family guy? Do you ever worry about, you know, these type of issues, that what if God forbid something would happen? Or is it actually safe in you going to concerts or like that type of thing?
I feel safer here. I do have to think about tragedy that might happen to protect my family here as I would in America. In America, it's going to be hurricanes, street crime. You know, here, if I'm not in the city, it might be a wild dog, you know, or it might be something related to the neighboring country that I need to be aware of. You know, so you know, it's not heaven on earth here. It's really great, but you still have things and issues to deal with.
What would you say to somebody who kind of wants to find out for himself or herself what's Russia all about, but kind of uncertain because of the safety issue? What would you say to him if instead of me you would be with that person?
Well, people will often leave comments on my channel. Oh wow, maybe when, you know, this conflict is over, I'll come check it out. And I'm always thinking, well, you don't have to wait till the conflict's over. I mean, the conflict has nothing to do with you being a tourist in Russia. You know, there's just no issue at all.
Just do it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Just do it.
And if you want to know how to do it, you can check out my also how to travel to Russia tip videos, where you can find out all the good stuff and how to maximize the experience.
I will.
All right, there you have it, straight from expat American. Russia, is it safe or not? After this talks, what do you think? Write in the comments, what do you think? Do you believe Joe and me, or do you still believe the media? So guys, this was Igor in Russia with Expat American. Make sure to check out his channel, Expat American, where he shows live here in Moscow. Also, go check out his video where we talking about illegal immigration and immigration in general, comparing Russia with some other countries. Do you want to say something?
So you mean they can click the end screen box in a second and go straight to my channel and see both of us there having a good time?
Exactly, or in the description as well.
You got it, man. Like and subscribe for this guy. He's awesome.
And vice versa to Expat American as well. He's awesome. Happy to be in Moscow. Hope you enjoyed the video. We're gonna take a coffee or a beer. Let's see. Bye-bye, y'all.